Good morning. Brekky in the cave, myself Kovu in the hot seat. What show we've got on the way today, my friends?
Jody, Emperelli, Flawless,
Sounds of Take Note and Joe Deli on this one, Mambo remix. Let's get into this one and we'll talk about the show in just a second.
I already know what the gang like, man. I'm out on the road with the wax high, and I'm aiming a man and I'm a clap twice. To them boy right there, yeah, snap time. Now he's gone, I'm a yam nice. He was dragging his feet, I don't drag mine. Now I'ma put it on your backside, bump and grind, yes and I. Two-step with it, swag team, my crew rep with him. My G's, we do set limits, it's Carney wave, we do step different. New Nikes, blue check in them, Entro roll, 2 reps in it. When you see all the gal, them step to toxic, got these dudes get livid, yeah. Gang dope, yeah. Man's cold, I can't stay, girl. Banco, shake, girl. Mambo, A-word, man show, I don't play on stage, no panto. It's the swag team, take no playboy light on your girlfriend's life or damn sure. Don't be pissed if your girl goes missing, it just means that swag teams will get heavier. That means that my gang gets scared of ya. Don't care if you're mad and rear it up, I tell y'all, I'll take care of ya. I'm saving ya, and I said all these women nothing with the talking, cause I'm wavy in it. Hit Mambo, hit Mambo. Everybody with your daily cause we wavy. Spit like kamikaze, I might snap like paparazzi. Sipping on Bacardi as I'm going to the party. See nobody in the lobby, had to take her to my yachty just to get a little naughty. On a board like Lil Yachty. We be mobilizing, we just need it reinvising. 2020 got me smiling. Yeah, that hit me like Tyson, like Tyson. She wanna read a photo, cause I be ballin' around the trapping in the bando. So they gotta act the mango. Such a thing she can tango. Till I pull my pants down and show her something she can handle. Don't play it like a banjo. Joe Deli and Take Note. Hey, big gorillas and A-Star. We on the stage low. Okay, we getting peso. Wait, you got some rock by the case low. Okay, JD and Wade, bro. She sliding my down pole. I'm tryna get brain slow. Okay. Hit Mambo. The remix. Hit Mambo. Hit Mambo. Joe Deli 2020. Everybody f***ing with it, remix, cause we wavy with it. Hey Mambo. Oh, you mother, take note, Joe Deli 2020. Tryna get it all, you motherfucker. The remix. Hey, big talk.
Right then, my friends, we are live here on Cubcam TV. Brekky in the cave alongside Trickstar Radio, of course. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me this morning. It's Wednesday, it's hump day, and we are here to have a good time for the next hour and a half, my friends. It's going to be a good one indeed. We've got loads of stuff to talk about. We've got loads of stuff to discuss. There's loads of bits of news, loads of new music as well, of course. You know how we do. We like to keep it vibrant and fresh and continuously moving forward. That one there coming from Joe Deli and Take Note with the Mambo remix. Fantastic tune, that one. Really cool to see how they've reworked the original or classic sounds of Mambo. Obviously, really cool link up there. The video for that one is out now on GRM Daily. As well as that, out to everyone who caught the new reaction video yesterday. We picked up some very exciting followers yesterday. Wiley, man like Rico Dan, Getz was reposting stuff. It's been a good few days for I want to say getting onto certain radars more than anything else. Obviously, it's not about who follows who. I'm aware of that. I'm very aware of that. However, it's good to know that we're on certain radars. That's the point of the show at the end of the day, to get on as many radars as possible. So yeah, there is loads of good stuff on the way today. I'm looking forward to the show a lot. We've got loads of new music, as I said before. We've got two fantastic guests. We're going to be joined by Tom of 440 Records. I'm really looking forward to this conversation, to be honest with you. They've been, if you've followed any of my review work, if you followed any of my written work over the last couple of years, they've been one of the most outstandingly consistent labels to grace UK dance music ever. Realistically, over the past 2 years, their run of consistency has been it's been mind-blowingly good. It's been outstanding to watch, and I'm really, really excited to talk to them about the releases, how they choose what's happening, the upcoming plans. Of course, I know they've got a few bits going on behind the scenes as well as Hybrid Theory, so there's loads of stuff to discuss with them. I'm looking forward to it. As well as that, we did have Treble Clef on the Cubcast. Is it Cubcast or is it Cave Talk? I'm losing track of what I call my stuff. Cave Talk. talk was what it was. I spoke to him about a month and a half ago, and since then, obviously, a lot of things have changed. A lot of new music's popped out there. A lot of things have happened in grime as well. So I'm going to be getting him on the show to talk about his opinion on a few things from 11 onwards as well. So there we go. As far as the channel goes, we are growing. We went up 10 subs yesterday. We now find ourselves on, I think it's 582. The aim, of course, by the end of this week is to hit 600. So if you are looking in for the first time, please do make sure you are hitting that subscribe button, that little one down there. Here it comes. Hey, that one there. Please make sure you are hitting it purely because the sooner we hit 1,000, the sooner we can start to monetize content. And as soon as we can start to monetize content, I can start to get sponsors in and the show gets even better. That's the plan anyway. And the fact we're growing at we're growing at about 10 subs a day at the minute, which is quite alarming, to be honest with you. I never expected we would be growing at that level and that pace. But here we are. That's where we are, you know. It's growing and I'm very, very excited for it. Let's run for a few of our beginning of the show announcements, of course. You can catch me on socials. All the socials are the same. That's Instagram, Facebook, as well as Twitter, and of course SoundCloud. All of those at Cub KXVU. And if you are looking into this via YouTube, of course, you can check out the audio for the show via Spotify once we finish. It goes up live around an hour after we finish or so. So you can listen on Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud. We're available via all of those platforms. And of course, a quick word to kick off the show from our sponsors, Sharpen Digital. As you can see, they are the alternative to hiring social media managers. They do a lot of good things for this show. They help me out with the SEO a lot. They help me out with getting it out there. They are the official sponsor of Brekky In The Cave. So there we go. We're going to be getting into some news as well. A couple of interesting bits that I'm going to look through and get some articles up ready for us to peruse through on this Wednesday morning. One thing I am finding by doing this show at home, though, is that I never have any idea what the weather's like. I genuinely have no clue. That's the weather for me. That red. That's all I can see for the weather, because if I unstrap it from the wall, it starts floating, and then we get lens flare, and it's horrible. It's not a very enjoyable experience. But yeah, I did wake up a little bit later today as we kind of stroll forward with today's discussion. I woke up a little bit later today, hence the crazy hair. Don't know why. I think I just skipped a couple of alarms, and I was up a little bit late sorting out a couple of journalistic bits. We've got a very exciting article with Skepsis dropping at around 1ish on 3000.co.uk. World exclusive interview. We're going to be looking at something very exciting following on from his new single, which was announced yesterday. I believe it's out on Friday. But yeah, he let slip something about an album. So we're going to be talking to him about that album, what that could entail. The full story does drop on 3000.co.uk at around 1ish, I believe. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. For the time being, though, we've got some bangers to play. And when I say we've got bangers to play, I mean we've got bangers to play. So we're going to get into a couple of these. Out to Laid Black on this one. This one is It's a Pity. It's the remix, the 2020 edition, featuring Tanya Lacey. Now, if you know the tune, it's a classic, I want to say new school reggae tune, even though it's not. I think it's mid-2000s when this tune came out originally. But the original features, of course, Tanya Stevens. This is a more upbeat, almost ska-like rework of the tune, which dropped a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, a lot of things when this tune dropped happened for the channel as well. So I'm going to be getting into those later on in the year. You'll see exactly what we've got on the way. But yeah, this one featuring Tanya Lacey. Out to my locked-in crew each and every time. I'm in a good mood this morning. You can probably tell I'm in a good mood, so we're going to keep those good vibes rolling and good energies going. We are live on Cubcam TV. Hit that subscribe button. If you are locking in for the first time, please make sure you do it. It makes a huge difference. As well as that, let us know where you're locked in from, and of course, throw a like on the video as well. It's Brekky In The Cave, Trickstar Radio, Cubcam TV.
You already have your wife, and me don't have a man in my life. Oh boy, it's a pity. I say it is such a pity. You already have your wife, and me have a one man in my life. Oh boy, it's a pity. I would like one of these mornings to wake up and find your face on the pillow lying right next to mine. Cut out the party and the smoking and the rum and blow. So make sure I know make we see your sun. When every time I fantasize, me see your lips, me see your eyes, your trigger finger, do some things. I let this screw your hypnotize. For you it's just a thing, just another little thing. But for me this is heaven and there ain't
God, it was so nice, but you always knew that I am myself a wifey. And I'm not going to change, rearrange anything. Now what we did, it was naughty. If my girl ever knew, I don't know what she do, but she certainly go crazy. Probably take away my baby.
No, it's such a pity. You already have your wife, and me don't have a man in my life. Rude boy, it's a pity. I say it's
Out to my locked in crew this morning, out to man like Classics joining us.
your wife.
Very enjoyable start to the show today.
For one man in my life.
Talking like a nutter.
It's a pity.
Love it.
So be gone. What we did, it was wrong.
Let us know where you're locked in from, friends.
My girl would understand, so beware. Cause you know it's not fair. By the side of my wife, I will always be there running red. Confusing thoughts inside my head. If I don't sort it out, things are gonna get stressed. So take time. Everything will turn out fine. Girl, you gotta get yours. Cause you know I got mine.
It's such a pity. You already have your wife, and me don't have a man in my life. Rude boy, it's a pity. I say it is such a pity. You already have your wife, and me have a one man in my life. Rude boy, it's a pity.
Lay back in your corner. Lay back in your corner. It's lay back in your corner.
1, 2, 3.
Sounds of Laid Black on this one. It's a Pity featuring Tanya Lacey. Out to my locked in crew each and every time. We've got so much stuff to discuss this morning. I am looking forward to getting into it. So let's crack open a hot beverage of news, shall we? I think that's a good way of starting off the day. Let's have a little look through this. I've already done that story. Well, I didn't. I need to start sorting out my my process of sorting out news articles here, because I'm always a few days late by the looks of things, because I've all my articles are out of date. It's just not good. Who saw the picture of the human-sized bat? That's a good conversation, isn't it? That's a great conversation starter. Have you ever seen a picture of a human-sized bat? Because I have. It was in the news. Look at this now. So a picture emerged quite recently. I know I'm not using an ad. I know I'm using an ad blocker. Why do websites still do this? Surely at this point there must be a plugin you can get for when you're looking on, especially news websites, that allows you to just automatically turn your ad blocker off if the site won't function with an ad blocker on. I would like that as a developer app. Someone out there, some clever so and so, go and get the what's needed to build that as an app, because otherwise it's just long. Although to be fair, the app, Jesus, there's a lot of adverts on this site. Whoa, madness! What's going on? My whole computer's moving. Anyway, yeah. Who saw the picture of the giant bat? Because I saw it. It was huge. I saw it. There's like a I'm trying to. What's the best way to? There's a basket of vegetables next to it, and the bat's head is bigger than any piece of the veg. That's how big this thing is. But yeah, if you're not fond of rodents, then the image probably hasn't been very pleasing to you. It's called the giant golden crowned flying fox, and it's native to the Philippines. And as you can see, it's quite large. This thing is nearly as big as me, and it's a bat. It's a vampire. That's essentially what it is. Let's be real here. This thing is a vampire, and it's absolutely terrifying. I'm going to see if I can get a picture of this thing up on screen, to be honest with you, because yeah, I should be able to. I'm going to try and work some magic behind the scenes here on my old broadcast software. But yeah, the maddest thing is that there is so much there is so many pop-ups on the Metro that it's slowing down my stream. And I've got loads of new CPU units in this computer. So the fact is that there is so many pop-ups that it's slowing down my stream. That's an absolute madness. But yeah, let's have a quick read through this article. Recently, a photo of one of these bats, labelled as human size, hanging in an outhouse somewhere in the Philippines, ignited social media. Stop playing random videos. It was posted to Twitter by the user AlexJoestar622, who wrote, "Remember when I told you the Philippines having human-sized bats was a thing? Yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about, because this thing is huge. There's a motorbike next to it, and it looks like it's the same size as a motorbike at least. But while this is one of the largest bats species in the world, calling it human-sized is a bit inaccurate. They can grow to have a wingspan of up to 5.5 feet, easily the size of a person, but the height only about a foot or so." What? That's a very clever piece of artwork. Not artwork. It's a very clever photo, because this thing looks like it's longer than a motorbike. But there we go. Yeah, it's called the. I don't know if anyone saw the picture of the bat, because it was an absolute madness, to be honest with you. When I saw it, I went, "Whoa! What on earth is going on here?" I'm going to try and bring it up on screen so we can see this thing, because it is a bit of a madness, I've got to say. Let's move around. I am using studio mode on OBS, so bear with me if I'm moving a little bit slow. I don't tend to use studio mode on OBS. I tend to get everything sorted beforehand and then go, well, if it's not ready by then, I'll leave it. But yeah. Let's see what I can do. There we go. We found the image of the bat. It's going to come up on your screen in a couple of seconds or so. This thing looks absolutely mental. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Where have you gone? Picture. Look at that thing. Absolutely massive. Look at it. It's huge. Oh my word! But yeah, apparently it only actually has a wingspan of 5.5 and is actually small. It's only about a foot tall. That's not right, is it? That's not right. You can see that's not right. The thing's huge. But there we go. That's the first story of today. What a shambles that was. Anyway, let's crack on with some bangers, shall we? Because this is clearly not a good news article. And the Metro article is literally freezing my computer. This is an absolute madness. What is going on? Honestly, why? I understand that news articles these days really do need to have paid sponsorship and things like that to keep up, because there isn't much money in actual news anymore unless it's filled with pop-ups. But sort it out. I can't actually see what's going on the website. There's that many pop-ups going on. But anyway, let's crack on, shall we? This one coming from Beanie Man, Zunga 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 Zeng. What an absolute banger. The original, of course, coming from Yellow Man. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Prince can use your thing called Zungo Zungo Zeng. Yeah. Sing by King Yellow Man, now sing by King Baby Man. Do it, yeah. Sang dang digga digga dang 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 dang. Now one a name Zungo Zung Zungo Zungo Zeng. Yeah. Zungo Zung Zungo Zungo Zeng. Yeah. Zungo Zung Zungo Zungo Zeng. Yeah. Zungo Zung Zungo Zungo Zeng. Mr. Pouch in my shirt and trousers, and watch my girl them not them blouse and skirts. Man to woman to jaja that pleases. Me use my condom, me no want no diseases. When me step out in the street, me expensive. All of my family, them real, no insist. Tell mama me we take care of the expenses. Give Selassie I the praises. Yeah, I make all of the ladies. Yeah, for bring all of the babies. You see, so Zungo Zung Zungo Zungo Zeng. Yeah, Zungo Zung Zungo.
I love the fact Beanie Man's done a version of this, you know.
Zungo 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 Zeng. Yeah. Zungo Zung Zungo Zungo Zeng. Say if you have a phone, you must get a chip. And if you get a ticket, then you're gone on a trip. And if you get a rhythm, you fi DJ lyrics. Now watch where them a say. Now watch the critics. And when me put on me boots, yeah, ball a go kick. And if a drama you want, tune into Netflix. Miss a flu and miss a genge, me no need fix. Just send with a girl, like give me a proper fix. Don't tell them.
Out to our latest subscriber, whoever you are. Hasn't given me a notification, but I can see you have subscribed. So big up you, the anonymous sub. Let us know if you are subbing, by the way, in the chat, and I'll give you a big thank you.
Zungo Zung Zungo Zungo Zeng. Yeah. Zungo Zung Zungo Zungo Zeng. Yeah. Bend your back and wine a joy. This a big man, this a no boy. This make you vibrate, this a no tie. This make you fat up like a Las Colasai. Girl, you ready for the baby boy. Girl, you want for me, Ellen of try. The neighbor see her on the wall a climb. The nosy neighbor, him nearly blind. So him run go call 119. So it's a lucky thing we done on time. And I say, Zungo Zung Zungo Zungo Zeng. Yeah. 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 Sang digga digga dang dang digga digga dang dong digga digga dang. Brr bang stang daga digga digga dang dong digga digga dang dong digga digga dang dang digga digga dang dong digga digga dang dong digga digga dang 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 digga digga 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 brr bang stang bang digga 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 dang. Hey. Zungo Zung Zungo Zungo Zeng. Zungo Zung Zungo Zungo Zeng. Yeah. 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 Zungo Zung
Sounds of Beanie Man on that one. Zunga 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 Zeng. What a banger that one is. Obviously the original coming to us from Yellow Man. This one somewhat of a 2020 flip from Beanie Man. And we're seeing this more and more in reggae these days, obviously. It's the interesting thing with reggae as a genre is it really has never died. There are as many artists now as there ever have been. And there is as much music being made now as there ever has been. Obviously, I'm trying to keep up to date with people like Jetstar Recordings, who are still very much out there doing it on a very regular basis, which is sick to see. And obviously with reggae music being the foundational genre for the UK, in my opinion, everything comes from reggae music, and I will say that very, very clearly, and I've said it multiple times. Everything for UK underground music essentially does come with reggae as one of its biological parents. I don't understand how that can be even discussed at this point. I feel it's just such a very clear, blatant, obvious thing. So to kind of see people still revisiting the older dubs and reworking them into new bits like this, it's sick to see. I just love to see the fact that it's still alive and well as a genre. You know, everyone has a genre they grew up listening to, you know, and you always feel very, very fondly about it. For me, it definitely is reggae, and that's definitely, I feel, what's kind of made this whole musical journey possible, you know. I mean, the last few weeks have been an absolute madness in regards to clashes and it just dancehall in general has been absolutely on fire. So it's sick to see more than anything else. So out to the locked in crew, as always, each and every, as I always say, quite desperately sometimes, please do let us know if you are locked in. Throw a like on the video as well. I can see how many of you are locked in, and I can see how many likes there are. So if we can make that number even, that'd make life a lot easier. It only takes, about half a second to go over to that like button and click it. Go on, do us a favour. And of course, hit that sub button as well. We are now 15 away from 600. If we can do that in the next 2 days, I would be ecstatic. And bear in mind, tomorrow is obviously New Music Day in regards to YouTube videos. So on Thursdays, what tends to happen is I tend to pretty much sit here from 6 o'clock onwards, looking across all the latest releases on YouTube and reacting to them, and basically putting out a run of new videos. Out to the first person to like the video. I see you, sir. Thank you. Or madam. I don't know. Or depending on what you prefer. There we go. But yeah, in regards to the Thursdays, that's what we tend to do on the channel. Is we do tend to very much focus in on reaction videos and seeing new music drop. We tend to try to really look across all the different channels everywhere that's going on. Out to the man from Del Monte, my Donny, how are you doing this morning, my friend? Good to hear from you. Very good to hear from you, actually. It's been a hot minute. But yeah, we try to gravitate towards the reaction videos and obviously look into exactly what's popping when. It's a really good way of growing the channel organically, and obviously we tend to get a lot of extra subscribers off that one. I believe today we're going to hit our first 1,000 view video on the channel as well. I believe it's a reaction video to Burner Boy's most recent track as well. So that's likely to hit 1,000 views today. There's every possibility we could hit 600 subs today. It's all kicking off, man. It's all kicking off here on Cubcam TV, and that's what I love to see. Good stuff. Right, we've got a couple bits to look through. I'm going through my selection of news articles this year. Here we go. I found one. Will Ibiza open this year? For those people that really care. Will Ibiza open this year, given that so much of the dance music calendar is dominated by the Ibiza season? It's the question that not everyone, come on, Mix Mag. There are plenty of people who aren't asking whether Ibiza will open this summer or not. Let's be real. One of those people who isn't asking is me. I'm merely reading this out for popular appeal. So I suppose a lot of people are. I've completely paradoxed and contradicted myself there. Millions of people visit Ibiza every single year, and as we well know, many of them go to enjoy the island's superclubs and day parties, as well as the stunning natural beauty. But 2020 is a very different scenario. Let's be real here, people. Here's the rest of the article. Will Ibiza be open in July? Mixmag previously reported that the Balearic Island president has said that Ibiza and its neighbouring islands will start to reopen for Spanish tourism from July, meaning that Spanish nationals will be able to travel to the island for a holiday. But now, Spain's President Pedro Sanchez has announced that the country will be open to foreign visitors from July, including Ibiza. This article must be very late because we're already 8 days into July. Spain needs tourism, and tourism needs safety in both origin and destination, which we will guarantee to tourists that they won't run any risks, nor will they bring any risk into the country, he said. Okay, cool. Good stuff, Pedro. That is his name, isn't it? Did I read that right? Yeah, Pedro Sanchez. It is assumed that in July, Spanish nationals will not have to self-isolate when arriving in Ibiza. That is something that's been criticised by Ibiza's president Vincent Mari, who has also called it nonsense and something will cause unnecessary damage to the islands economically. Visitors from England will not be required to self-isolate on their arrival to Ibiza on their or on their return to the UK under the UK government's new air bridge ruling. Nonsense. Everyone should be self-isolating wherever they go. Anyway, I'm not going to get started on politics today because just look at my Twitter feed if you want to hear my opinion on politics. It's that simple. I'm sure you don't want to hear my opinion on politics because I'm sure I agree with most of you about how ridiculous our current situation is. But anyway, let's crack on with some more new music, shall we? We've got some bangers in the bag. This one coming to us from none other than Juma and Fork and Knife. Now, this one is forthcoming on Cocobolo Sound. I'm really looking forward to seeing this release. I've actually just got an email through from them. We've got a bit of a Q&A going up with them on 3000.co.uk tomorrow. We're going full journalist at the moment. I've got to say, loads of interviews, loads of written content as well, which I'm really looking forward to getting into. But this one is the lead single off that new release. There's an MPH remix on there as well for the Garage Gang. But yeah, this one goes by the name of Pattern It. It comes to us from Juma and Fork and Knife. So this is an absolute banger. Definitely one I'm looking forward to getting into. In a second, I'm going to be getting onto the old blower with man like Tom, all the way from 440 Records. We're going to be discussing the label as a whole, as a project, exactly what they've got going on in regards to new releases, how they structure their projects. It's something I'm genuinely really interested to listen into, purely because as I said before, 440 have been one of the most consistent imprints in the UK in general across, I'd say, the last 2 years overall. It's been genuinely very exciting to watch from the start, from the sidelines, obviously in my journalistic hub that I call The Cave, as you can probably tell by the title of this show. But there we go. Let's get into this one then. Juma and Fork and Knife with Pattern It, and then we'll be back in a few minutes to jump into our first interview of the day. Oh yes, first interview of the day, people. Bombs, explosions, all that good stuff.
The new flow, head top spinning, shut down the show. Pepper on the beat, season the set. When I add a little heat, reel up the deck. Yeah, Lord of the dance, can't catch soon as the music starts. Stepping on shoes in my Timberland boots, I be kicking and bruising, I'm moving past. They be like, oi, Drummond's on a mad one again. Done there, damage on a rampage again. Unique, no it ain't like none of them. Truth be, I don't even like none of them. I got my OGs and my day ones and my cousins. Nothing but love for my brothers. Fork and knife on the buttons. Drummer got bars in abundance. Extra, giving out more than a lot. Shit hot, man, I'm pulling out all of the stops. Expert, guess who's calling the shots? I'm a boss, I'm the one who put the ball on the spot. Then I kick it right out of the park like have it. Who's on what, who's really about it? I'm out here causing a racket. Chat shit like I done all of the packet. And that's why they call it a banger. Talk game with the gulliest grammar. I got the blueprint, I got the pattern. I leave a soundboy dead when I pattern it. And that's why they call it a banger. Talk game with the gulliest grammar. Got the blueprint, got the pattern. I leave a soundboy dead when I pattern it. Pattern it, pattern it, pattern it. Yeah, pattern it, pattern it. I leave a soundboy dead when I pattern it. Yeah, pattern it, pattern it, pattern it, pattern it. Yeah, pattern it, pattern it, pattern it. I leave a soundboy dead when I pattern it. any bells, my friend, just air. Don't give a shit, don't care. Man's out here on a wing and a prayer. I'm blessed, I rise to the test. Arms out here with chest, full court press. Show a man down on a set like we ain't even breaking a sweat. When I'm exhaling the highest grade, like the finest wine, I savor the taste. Elevate up to a heightened state with the inner mind's I see time and space. Chilling with the gods, made it against all odds. I'ma take my reign at the top, whipping up the store. Firing lightning bolts, now you're fighting the final boss. See my name on the board, all-time high score. Fuck up the dance floor, pull up but don't pause. We be doing up tours, they call for encores. I'm obliged, of course, if you go once.
Right then, my friends, we are back inside the building. We are live on Cubcam TV and, of course, Trickstar Radio as well. Out to my locked-in crew this morning as we jump into our first very special guest of the day. Man like Tom from 440 Records joins us this morning. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You can probably tell I'm in a bubbling mood. I've got my orange juice. I've got my cup of tea. I'm feeling good today, despite the fact I woke up a little bit late. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, always a pleasure, mate. Always.
Good to hear. So we've got loads of stuff to discuss. Obviously, you came on the show, I think, I want to say about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer ago, in regards to Breakfast with KXVU, and we did a bit of a general catch-up of what's been happening with 440. And obviously, it's been a busy year. As I've said in the intro to this interview, you seem to be putting out somewhat... It seems like there's a release a week on average. It's that much music is seemingly floating around. Like how has the last year been in general?
Yeah, no, the last year has gone really well. Obviously, we've released a lot of good music.
Entirely.
You know, everything from garage, bass, house, covering all angles. Yeah, some decent compilations, some strong releases, including the Vital Techniques release with Killer P, Dread MC, and Devilman, which did really well.
Definitely.
Yeah, we did some compilations with Royal Flush, Smoky Bubbling B, Castle, released a couple of sample packs, released some strong singles from Royal Flush, Wes Thomas, Smoky Bubbling B again, Tough Culture as well. Yeah.
I mean, it's quite mad to look at. Like, you guys clearly... I mean, you clearly don't sleep, let's be real here. There's clearly not much resting going on. Like, how do you find the time to pack everything in? Because it does seem to be, as I said, every week something new is happening. Something new is there every single week. Like, how do you keep up that level of energy?
Well, you know, we try not to... But it wasn't intentional to release a track every week. It's just we were sent that much good music. It was just, you know, we didn't want to not put it back. And we could have set up another sub-label and released them out underneath there. But I don't really see too much point in that. If we believe in the music and we think the music is good, you know, let's just get it out.
Definitely, man. And I think as well, there's a definite testament in that to how... just the quality levels I feel that 440 attracts, because obviously you are working in a lot of different there's an overarching genre obviously which is kind of UK based music, but you're working a lot in garage a lot more over the last sort of year. There's been a bit more of it. There's been the occasional kind of curveball in there as well. Like yeah. How have you found like the submission side of things over the last year?
So as in like people sending us demos and things like that?
Yeah.
Well, it's been a mixed bag, really. Like, we get sent a lot of music all the time, and about, say, 1 in 4 gets picked out of that. I mean, like, the door's always open to everyone, really, from established to up and coming, as long as the music's good and the timing's right. Yeah. Okay. You know?
Yeah, like I mean, is there anything you found yourself particularly looking for more when people send stuff over?
We like to work singles with features, but we find they tend to do really well because then it gives the opportunity to, you know, put a bass remix on there, put breaks, put garage, you know, and you can kind of like tailor it to each station. Say like you want to send something over to Rinse, you know, they'll pick up hopefully for their playlisting. Some people want extra, you know.
Okay, cool. So it's essentially getting the most out of every tune that gets sent your way.
Yeah, I think as well, like, artists think they need to release a lot of music. Like, once they've done one, they need to release another one straight after. But it's about getting as much as you can out of one single. So, like, doing a radio edit, doing a VIP, doing an acoustic version of it, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. That makes sense. And I think that, again, the maddest thing for me is just how consistent the levels have been in regards to the quality of each individual single when we kind of break it down. Like, how have you found the sort of mass response to be publicly in regards to the new music you're releasing? Like, are you getting a lot of people hit you up saying like, "Oh my God, slow down, there's so much"?
We did at the start of last year, obviously, as you've seen, like there was just like one every single week. We had the blogs react, you know, and we had some decent DJs when the clubs were open, reacting to it and saying, oh, what's next? Can we get this first? You know, but yeah, no, they're enjoying it.
Definitely, man. I love seeing it more than anything else, purely because I've got a real thing for just people being consistent and supplying the scene with good music from start to finish. I think it's an awesome thing to watch. So when we kind of look over this and look into exactly like just how much has been released, like do you know exactly how many tunes have been released over the last year?
I've lost track.
That's the right answer.
If you combine that with tracks and compilations and things like that, I'm sure it'd be a crazy amount.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Like, I mean, what tracks specifically stand out from that period? I know you mentioned the Vital Techniques tune.
Yeah, so we did a track with Francois last year called Mad One featuring Louis Benton, which did really well. At the time we were releasing loads of like garage and house and crossover sounds, and we just thought, you know what, let's just switch it up in a minute. Francois sent it over, and it was like kind of like a jack-in bass house sound that we were established with, and I thought, let's just get that out, let's see what it does.
Yeah.
And yeah, it had a strong reaction.
Definitely, man. I mean, that's the thing. There hasn't really been. Obviously, I'm looking at this from the sort of reviewer's point of view. In regards to like when I receive the stuff, a lot of the time I get stuff sent through primarily through Juno, and then it'll pop up, and then I'll look at it, and then I'll review it. And every single time, I'm struggling to find new ways of saying the ever consistent 440. Like,
I mean, the reviews are always on point.
Oh well, thank you. I'm glad. I mean, it's awesome to see, bro. And obviously, we've been speaking now for a number of years, and it's always good to see people succeeding. That's what I like to see, and I like to see consistency. I like to see people really putting that extra bit of grinding. Like, have you found the last couple of years, in regards to there being so much more music, kind of getting out there? Do you find yourself like overworked in any way, or do you feel you've got a pretty good lid on it?
No, I mean, like, there are labels releasing like twice a week and trying to see basically what will stick. But for us, again, it's just more about the sound and whether the timing's right and if the music's good. It's not about, you know, if the artist is massive or anything like that. It's just about generally putting out good music and being able to market it right.
Okay, cool. So okay, this is a question I like to ask a lot of the time. In regards to someone sending, say someone sends over a banging niche tune, which is obviously not necessarily the most popping thing right now. We've got kind of garage as the lead thing, I'd say, right now. We've got garage and sort of UK bass in regards to the more sort of techier sound are the two things that seem to be popping the most at the moment. Say someone sends over a banging niche tune, would you try and release it as soon as possible, or would you kind of take it on and wait for the market to shift a little bit?
Potentially, you know, sometimes you can send it to the right DJ who will then break it. You know, and then everyone goes, okay, we want to get behind that. And then you all of a sudden see a pattern of other DJs making that sound again, or incorporating it into that garage music.
There we go. Okay, interesting stuff. I'm going to be picking your brains for the next few hours, so get next half an hour or so. So we've got the first tune on today's listing we are going to be getting into comes from Yemi and Tough Culture. This one going by the name of Don't Tell Me. Talk to me about this tune. How did it come together?
Yeah, Yemi reached out after sending us some demos with a bit of back and forth, and once we agreed on which ones we were going to take, he also sent over a collab, which we didn't know too much about, with Tough Culture, because we worked heavily with Tough Culture, and we were taken back by it. And obviously we do the submissions for Spotify and things like that, and Spotify picked it up for New Music Friday. And since then it's done really well. It's just got that classic garage feel to it, I feel. And yeah, it also sounds quite refreshing.
There we go. Good stuff. Okay, cool. We're going to get into this one now. We are live on the line with with Tom from 440 this morning. We've still got loads of stuff to discuss. Going to be looking into the UK music scene as a whole in a second as well. Kind of looking at future plans and other things that are on the way. But don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. We are live here on Cubcam TV. This is Brekky In The Cave. Also live, of course, on Trickstar Radio. Don't go anywhere. my friends, out to everyone in the chat this morning, out to my locked-in crew each and every time, wherever you are locked in via, be it the podcast, be it YouTube on the playback, be it live right about now, or obviously via Trickstar Radio on DAB in the Brighton area. Out to each and every one of you. Out to WT4Y, giving us a big smiley face. Thank you, WT4Y. WT4Y, that's it. You make my morning sometimes, brother, you really do. Out to Classics UK as well, saying Tough Culture is a UKG Don. I've got to agree with you there, brother. I'm making some fantastic music. We are live on the line with Tom from Four40 this morning, and we're gonna switch up the vibe, switch up the conversation. Let's talk about what's happening now. Like, in regards to like lockdown, and obviously everything's lifting now, but the past sort of couple of months, how have you found that's affected you as a label? Have you slowed down, sped up? What's been the sitch?
To be honest, it's been no different really. Apart from we've had a lot more submissions from producers. Streaming's gone up as well, which is nice. Yeah. It's not, nothing's really changed, to be honest.
I mean, that's interesting to hear. Like, in regards to like submissions or like promo campaigns, everything stayed pretty much the same.
Yeah, I mean, like with obviously, as you've seen, we've had a lot more music to release just recently. But yeah, like in terms of like structuring how we release, with regards to promo and things like that, nothing's really changed.
Okay, cool. So it's pretty much the same system. It's interesting to hear, because obviously I've had so many people on this show who have kind of approached things in completely different ways. We've been running it from this room for nearly 4 months now, so there's been a fair few people passing through. Some of them have said they've been really kind of inspired by it. Some of them have said, oh, it's been really difficult to get inspired because they're inspired by life rather than the sort of the actual like process of everything. Like, what would you say in regards to release-wise? What would you say the sort of biggest thing that's popped during this time has been?
You know, we had a really strong EP just dropped from Mofo, Roll Through. That's done really well. It's getting some decent traction online as well, some solid support. I think the only thing really that's changed is you're not getting those club reactions.
Yeah.
And being able to see what's working in the clubs. That's probably one of the most difficult things, because obviously if you're getting solid reactions from that, you know, you're going to pick up more of that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, another thing that's kind of tied into it the last couple of weeks specifically as well is obviously no more Mixmag, which is going to make a big difference as well.
Yeah, that's a massive shame.
Yeah.
Massive shame.
Real shame. I think like myself, you're in a similar position where as a label you're a team that kind of check that Mixmag drop every month to go, are we in there? Are we in there? Are we in there? Are we in there? And it's like how do you feel about it? Because I know they've supported you quite heavily over the years as well.
Yeah, I mean, like Orbs has always been good. He's featured some big releases in there. We've had some bits in the grime section as well, and the breaks. But yeah, like, I just think like it's a massive loss to our scene, because it's always a strong look, and it's good to have that to then go off to other platforms and say, look, wow, this release was featured in here. You know, we've got this one coming, would you like to feature it? It's always a good bargaining chip. Yeah, and it's I felt as well it was very representative of what was going on a lot of the time, and I do think it's going to be a big loss to the UK scene. And it's not to say that other reviews don't matter, but I feel especially in kind of UK bass and grime specifically as well, I do feel that that sort of I guess it's the equivalent of having a radio play, isn't it?
Yeah. You know? It really is, like, and it's the difference it can make as well in regards to like people taking notice of something. And it's a weird thing. A lot of the time, if you say, "Oh, I've got a review of Mixmag," they won't even read the review. It's just that level of gravitas that comes with it.
Yeah, it's the credibility, isn't it?
Yeah, most definitely, man, and it's gonna definitely be a big loss. Okay, cool. Let's switch things around again. Then we're gonna jump into another tune in just a second. This one, obviously, you've mentioned it a little bit earlier on. I think this one coming from Francois and Louis Benton. Talk to me about this one. It goes by the name of Mad One.
Yeah, we were sent it at the time. We were putting out loads of garage music and house stuff, and we just thought it was a good opportunity to kind of go switch the audience onto the sound that we were originally established with, really. I really like the sound of it. James liked it as well. James is a hybrid from 440. And yeah, it was just seemed right at the time to put out, and it did really well. It's done about 250,000 streams on Spotify as well. So,
wow. I mean, like, how again with this, like, how have you found that sort of streaming side of things to be the last couple of years, because I feel, especially with bass music, obviously a lot of the fan base has shifted from SoundCloud over to Spotify in regards to how they take in new music. Like, have you found you've kind of kept up with that shift?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I always find myself going down a Spotify hole, like looking for new producers on there rather than SoundCloud, if I'm honest. You know, it's quite easier to navigate around. You know, you can skip through things quite quickly. You're not waiting for things to buffer. You know, it's quite cool.
Wicked, man. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to get into this one now, and then we're going to look to the future. So don't go anywhere, Locked In crew. I can see how many of you are locked in. Throw a like on the video. Do me a favour and subscribe to the channel. We have got loads of good stuff on the way. But yeah, let's get into this one. Don't go anywhere.
I can't shake it, got me on a mad one. My girl's like, when are you home? And I'm like, babe, just leave me alone, cause man, I'm in a dance and I'm in my zone. Why is this room so crowded? Eyes glazed over, clouded. Man, I'm on a different wave, and I feel like I've been here for days. Something going through my mind, I can't seem to make no sense. Feeling like I'm going blind and I can't shake it, got me on a mad one. I feel like the room is spinning. Someone show me to the bathroom. Now that this tune is a rhythm, bassline is shaking the back room. I'm feeling wavy and it's driving me insane. I'm so high, can't deny something's coursing through my veins. My head is spinning and it's got me in a daze. Something strange in my brain and it's driving me insane. Me insane, me insane, me insane, me insane. I feel like the room is spinning. I feel like the room is spinning. Room is spinning, room is spinning, room is spinning, room is spinning, 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 spinning. I can't shake it, got me on a mad one.
Yo, it's Four40, you're now locked into the breakfast show with Cole. Anytime it's live, you have to go true. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, Cam TV.
And I feel like I've been here for days. I can't shake it, got me on a mad one.
Got me on a mad one.
3 missed calls on my phone. My girl's like, when are you home? And I'm like, babe, just leave me alone, cause man, I'm in a dance and I'm in my zone. Why is this room so crowded? Eyes glazed over, clouded. Man, I'm on a different wave, and I feel like I've been here for days. Something going through my mind, I can't seem to make no sense. Feeling like I'm going blind and I can't shake it, got me on a mad one. I feel like the room is spinning. Someone show me to the bathroom. Now that this tune is a rhythm, bassline is shaking the back room. I'm feeling wavy and it's driving me insane. I'm so high, can't deny something's coursing through my veins. My head is spinning and it's got me in a daze. Something strange in my brain and it's driving me insane. Me insane, me insane, me insane, me insane. I feel like the room is spinning. I feel like the room is spinning. Room is spinning, room is spinning, room is spinning, room is spinning, 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 spinning. I can't shake it, got me on a mad one. Mad one. And I feel like I've been here for days.
Right then, my friends, we're back inside the building. Out to my locked in crew this morning. Do send us a signal if you are locked in. Let us know where you're locked in from, whether it's your first time locking into the show as well. We always love to hear from new people. Out to everyone locking in, of course, throw a like on the video as well. It makes a massive difference to the reach. We are trying to grow this show and make it something very special and very truly representative of UK bass music across the board. That's what we're trying to do. But yeah, out to the locked in crew each and every time. We are live on the line with man like Tom from Four40. Let's look to the future, because we've kind of discussed a little bit of the past. We've discussed what is seemingly the present, and we are going to be looking forward to what's on the way. So I know you're busy, bunnies, over there. What's happening?
Yeah, so we're currently putting together 10 years of 440 compilation. We're lining up some features for that. We're backing it with a Spotify campaign too, so it should get a nice reach. You might see it pop up on your Spotify, hopefully.
Nice.
you know, we're working on a brand new website. It's been 10 years, so it's about time we had a presence. And yeah, we're just looking to secure some parties, hopefully for next year, if Corona.
Oh, have I lost him?
And
no.
Yeah, that's about it, really. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah,
and we're just on the lookout to work with more producers and push new music.
There we go, man. I mean, it as I said before, like the consistency has been pretty outstanding, and I'll say that time and time again. I'll say it in every review, and well, thank you for the bangers. That's all I can say. But yeah, like kind of looking at it as a whole. Then, obviously, 10 years of 440. It's been a pretty spectacular journey. Let's be real. It's been a pretty phenomenal kind of experience. Like, do you see yourselves as not necessarily gatekeepers, but do you kind of see yourselves as flag flyers for UK-based music?
I'd like to say so, yeah. Considering we've been about for a while now, and we've released with a lot of credible producers. We've seen producers go on to do some massive things like Holy Goof, Notion, Billy Kenny, you know. So yeah, I'd like to say so.
Definitely, man. I mean, I most certainly would. That's why I asked the question. I think there are a lot of people in kind of UK music in general who do kind of see 440 as one of these kind of like quite Goliath projects in the way they come across. And I think with yourself, like what is it that you look for most in a release? And I'm talking you personally here.
Just a solid, good idea. You know, whether it be just a single track, it might have like a nice hook in, the mix down might be bad, but I can see potential in it. You know, there's always ways of bringing it together and bringing it to life.
Okay, cool. So it's more. Okay, so here's a good question for you.
Honestly, it's more about the working on something special. You know, we just like to work good music.
Okay.
And if the established acts come along, then amazing.
Okay, cool. So what I was going to ask is, it definitely is more about the sound than the person supplying the sound.
Yeah, and it's also about trying to be first as well and not copying what everyone else is doing. That's why occasionally, if we're putting out lots of garage and we see a shift in lots of labels doing it, we will throw a curveball like a bass tune to see who follows the pattern.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I've definitely noticed that with what you guys do, because obviously when this current garage explosion kind of took place, you guys were right at the front of it, and I think not enough credit is actually given to you as a label for that, and actually being one of the labels that really did reignite garage in the UK. I remember there being a period, I think, of around sort of 5 to 6 months where it was just garage banging release after garage banging release, and I remember seeing it on Juno every week and going, and actually it got to the point where I was going, where's the 440 release, like expecting another one every week.
Yeah, I think like what we're going to do is we're going to do that, like we're going to release a single every week occasionally. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be all the time.
Yeah,
you know, we're just going to just surprise everyone, I guess.
Yeah, man. I mean, I look forward to those types of things when we go, right, it's 440 season. There's going to be some bangers. It's like it's like a time of the year where certain veg only grows, and there's a period of time where 440 will be releasing. The yield shall be high.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously we can release garage music any time of the year, house music, but one music in particular seems to do better in terms of like between September and January, across that period, is bass music.
Okay.
Like, I don't know whether it's just because it's back at the clubs. Yeah, it just seems to really work. Really? And that's across radio too.
I mean, that is interesting, and I think that's a topic that we could get into for hours. So I think we're gonna use this bit to tie off the show, because we could be here for hours discussing the psychology of sound.
This is interesting.
It's really interesting, man. It's really interesting, and I think this is, again, always with yourselves. It's always a show that I would like to revisit at another point, because give it 3 weeks, you'll have another discography entirely. So it'll be there'll be more stuff to discuss, dude. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show this morning, man. We're gonna finish up with this one from Smokey Bubbling B, track entitled Be Real. Talk to me about this one.
Yeah, we were working on a compilation with him. I'm sure you got that one, I'm sure. Yes. And he sent over, as we were working on it, he sent over the one particular track was like the breaks, old school kind of sound, and a wicked sampling. And he was like, would you be up for releasing it as a single? And I was like, yeah, that'd be great to tie it in before we release the compilation. And yeah, it had some strong support. It was even included in an Essential mix, I think, just recently.
Oh, wow.
By some tech house producer.
Wow.
So yeah, it's had some incredible support and it's done really well.
Awesome, man. Well, it's really good to hear. I think, yeah, we're gonna finish up here. So, one time, what is the best social media tag for people to get hold of you and the label?
Yep, we are everything 440 Records UK.
Okay, cool. So very nice and easy to get hold of them.
Yeah, dead easy, nice and direct.
That's what I like to hear. Okay, dude, well, we'll speak soon, and we'll stay in contact. Obviously, we'll stay in contact. We're in the inboxes every few days. But we'll crack on, and we'll speak soon.
Nice one, man. Take care.
Take care, my brother. Let's go. Massive shouts out to Tom for the last half an hour or so. We're going to let this one run for a while, and then we're going to get into a conversation with man like Treble Clef. Stay tuned. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well. Do us a favour. And let's go.
Yo, this is Witty Boy. Right now, you're tuning to The Breakfast Show with KXVU. Keep it locked.
They never did know. Yeah, it's all about breakfast with KXVU. This is tough like Ion representing.
Right, I'm trying to get hold of Treble, but his phone's engaged, so he might be on the phone. Okay, let this one run out and see if I get a call. If not, we'll just crack on and wait till he's ready. Out to the 440 gang each and every time in the chat. Good stuff, guys. Wavy stuff on this one. Sounds of Smoky Bubbling B. Wicked tune there. Out to everyone locking in this morning. It's been a very enjoyable show indeed so far. Out to everyone supporting the channel. As I've said before, if this is your first time checking out the show, please make sure you are hitting that button right there. Hit that subscribe button. And yeah, we can continue to grow. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has been hitting me up in the inbox the last few days as well. I've got to say I've had numerous very, very kind messages about the show and how well it's doing, and just in general, I want to say thank you to you guys, because it's a little bit, it's very moving indeed. What we're going to do is we're going to jump into this tune from XL Mad, and then we're going to get into a call with Treble, because he's literally ringing me as I speak. So let's get into this one. Keep it locked, don't go anywhere. It's Brekky in the Cave. Oh yes.
Reggae music all night, all day, yeah. Reggae music all night, just real reggae music all night, all day, yeah. Dance all of the set, I feel place up the chalwa on the sound system, yeah. Unity we want in on the dance, we are blessed by the Most High. We no fear system, Babylon a fall like rain, yeah. Them a want your soul, them a get in on your way. Chemicals in the ground, in the air. Babylon every time I want to trick way. Judge a bless to get to you to want to set free. The most of them will never understand way. You never have to work Sunday to Sunday. Get to you to rise, you have to make it. The cage in your head, you have to break it. All of them a try to hide them head, but them can't fly away. In the dance, 1 time, 2 time, 4 fights, been fine. Sizzler, push you on, man, a combine. Youngster and youngster time. Don't play it special like a ton.
Right then, my friends, we're back inside the building. This is Brekky in the Cave. Out to the locked in crew each and every time, whether you are locked in via Trickstar Radio, whether you're locked in via the Radio Cult app, whether you're locked in via the YouTube, the podcast, wherever you're locked in from. Massive shouts out to each and every one of you. We are joined next on the line by our second guest of the day. Man like Treble Clef is in the building. How are you doing, sir?
Yes, man, I'm there, man. Big up each and every time. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. It's good to hear from you. Obviously, this is it's a bit of a catch up from the Cave Talk podcast we did last month. I'm looking forward to seeing
second time around.
Yeah, second time around, bro. I'm looking forward to hearing what's kind of been happening with yourself. Obviously, we were primarily talking about the album on that last discussion. Like, obviously, we were a month on now. Is the response still there? Are the sort of the plaudits still flying in?
Yeah, no, people are still vibing to it. People are still discovering it today. So it's like it's only a month old and it's out. So yeah, it's going good. But obviously, as we do, everything's always moving. The scenes are always moving. So I'm not gonna completely take my eye off it and just move on to the next thing. But we've got other works in the pipeline.
There we go. That's what I like to hear, man. I mean, obviously with that album, sort of in sort of hindsight with it as well, more than anything else. One question I actually didn't get to ask you during the last during the last interview, which I did want to kind of ask, was if you were to kind of get remixers involved, who would be an ideal remixer for a track on that album?
Wow.
I'm starting with big questions today, bro. I'm straight in.
Yeah. That's you kind of call me off. Who would? Obviously, let me think. At the top of the dome, the top of my head right now. Who would? Any producer, and any tune as well. Any producer, any tune. Wow. I would say producer Swindle. I would like to see what Spyro does. Spindle, Spyro. I'm going to just name producers and throw them out there. DOK would be interesting. Who else is there? Those three. What tunes in particularly, I don't know yet. I'd like to see what they'll all do to Inside, funny enough.
Okay.
That would be interesting.
There we go.
Inside and maybe Survive, them three. there's more producers and Darkness. Yeah, Darkness.
There we go. Okay, cool. I mean, that's one I completely forgot to ask last time around, so it's kind of good we've had another one drop in. But there we go. Yeah, very interesting stuff indeed in regards to that album, like as a project. Kind of like moving forward then a bit. Obviously, I don't want to spend the entire time talking about the album when we did that last time around. I do want to kind of talk about a few other things. So, obviously, moving forward with that, would you say you've taken anything from the response?
Have I? Well, if I've realised it, I haven't really realised it like that yet. So I haven't had that eureka moment from like the response that, this is how it means to people, or how someone perceived this album gives me a new kind of perspective to kind of look at it. That hasn't really happened yet, or maybe because I haven't sat down. It's been like, obviously lockdown or whatever, so I've just been trying to get it out. But that's a good perspective for me to kind of take. Give me another month or so, because right now, no. I would say no. From the response, no. I just know Survive really connects, and I'm just happy that Survive connects with a lot of people, that they just feel it on an emotional level, like, just the vibe and everything, just catching a lot of people, especially a lot of lyricists. A lot of lyricists say it's easy for them to write to. So
there we go. I mean, that's quite a cool thing to look at. And obviously, with yourself, you are someone who has got some obviously we discussed this last time as well. Some of the some essentially like legendary grime instrumentals in the bag, and sort of ones that will continue to be talked about time and time again. So with kind of stuff moving forward, then obviously we're still in the sort of in the post campaign, I'd say, for the album, but kind of looking at what's on the way, would you say there are already definitely things being patterned up as we speak?
I'm always, of course, I've got things that are ready. It's just timing. I've got more vocals there, which were actually ready before the whole project. So it's no need to fear. There's definitely other stuff that will. Sorry about all the noises.
Good.
Get to the food in there. So there will be more. I've got a couple vocals, many vocals already recorded with different artists, EPs of other artists. So and because they're working, it's kind of good because we don't have to rush or rely on what I've done with them, because they've got other things they've done themselves, which is coming out, and they're going through their own PR run with that. So yeah, man, it's like, do not fear. As I said, Travis here has been working, putting it in with the grime, and it's just all about timing with these things. And yeah,
definitely.
Once the timing is right, then it will drop. Everything will drop.
There we go. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, first of all, I want to send a massive shout out to Molly, aka Frolly in the chat, man, like French sending that one in, saying, also, great show. Thank you, sir. Thanks for locking in. We're going to get into a new one from yourself. This one going by the name of Irie Lion. Talk to me about this tune.
This one, Irie Lion, is actually an old one.
Okay.
It's an old one, but it's new to everybody else. It's old to me. When I say old to me, it's like one of the first ones I made on my new desktop, my new DAW, which, for those that don't know, DAW is Digital Audio Workstation. So it's where us producers make our music. And it was one of the first ones I made on my new tower. But I've held it as an exclusive dub for a while, so you can only hear me with it. And well, now you got it now. So,
there we go. That's what I like to hear.
Only a few people have got this one. So Irie Lion, Irie vibes. I don't know, a fusion of sound, music, grime, I guess maybe jazz, a bit of hip hop, and just vibes, isn't it? Irie vibes,
There we go.
Laid back, but still cool and something for you to drive to.
There we go. Awesome. Right, we're going to get into this one now then. We are live on Cubcam TV, Trickstar Radio, all that good stuff. Keep it locked and don't go anywhere. It's Brekky In The Cave.
Treble Clef.
then, friends, we're back inside the building. It's Brekky in the Cave, and we are live, of course, on Trickstar Radio as well as Cubcam TV. If you're locking in for the first time, please do hit that subscribe button. It makes a huge difference to the channel. We are growing. We're nearly at 600. If we can get to 600 by the end of the week, I'll be a very happy bunny. So let's crack on then. Treble Clef is on the line. That one going by the name of Irie Lion. So obviously, with yourself, then we're seeing a lot of live streams. You've spoken about getting a new, obviously a new production stack, moderately recently. How have you found that's affected the kind of production workflow?
The workflow is kind of always been the same, but always still developing. So it's because I kind of got it now, or I kind of figured out my.
Nope.
It's the best to me still. So the way I've got it now, just like I don't want to give away too much, but basically I produce in sketches.
Okay.
Anyone that does drawing or art, or if they're drawing characters or whatnot, they would have like a page and have different faces, like 25 faces of one character on one page until they've got the right one. That's almost like how I produce. So I can like open a project and then I'll get the skeletons, have the base, have the foundation, and then maybe then move it across and then maybe tweak it or do something else and then buff it up a different version, different rendition of the same thing, maybe 3 or 4 times, and then until I'm happy with the version, and then I go ahead and forward. It's quite meticulous, I should say.
Yeah, I was going to say this sounds like a very kind of specific process. Is this something you kind of learned, or is it something you've kind of developed yourself?
Yeah, it's just something I don't even want to say developed, but like it's just something. Yeah, it's a habit which has kind of come through over the time, but it's because I've worked that way and made some stuff which I never thought I would have made before in that method.
Yeah.
So, and then I was like, oh. And then, you know, like I was listening to, when I through my other sketches, I would make a completely different track.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
So it's almost like, that's how I treat it. That's why I see a very close relation in terms of production and painting, and because they're all canvases. That's how I see it. It's the blank canvas is my page. And then, you know, the paintbrush are the sounds. I mean, the paint, but you know what I mean? The sounds are the different paints and textures and all of that stuff. And we're literally painting with sound.
There we go. I mean, do you know a similar analogy that I kind of do? Obviously, the big one is obviously painting. I think that's quite like a very accurate analogy. The one for me is cooking. I find those two processes to be very similar.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no. I'm actually trying to prepare my lunch right now at the same time. So, you know, I mean, I would like to think I'm just as good as a cook as I am as a producer, because, you know, transferable skills and all of the creativity in that. You know what I mean, mate?
Definitely, bro. I mean, I tried to explain this to someone once, and they went, "What are you talking about?" And I went, "No, obviously you've got cooking methods, that's processing. You've got kind of like effects and stuff, and that's your seasoning. You've got your elements, that's your ingredients. Like you've got your composition, you've got your storytelling. That's the overall kind of cooking process. They're so similar."
Yeah. And the compression and the mix down is where you don't use too much salt and you know what I mean, the EQ and all of that stuff. So
definitely, bro.
Yeah.
Definitely, bro. That for me is like such a clear analogy. I don't know why people don't get it, but anyway, let's kind of crack on then. Obviously we've got a couple more bits that we want to get into music wise before we finish up today. This one going by the name of Amy Winehouse. So talk to me about this tune. How did this one come together?
It's pretty simple. I just found her Rehab a cappella and I just messed about. So it's just pretty short. Love Amy, great artist. Rehab, I found the Rehab a cappella I found online, and I was messing around with it. Obviously I can't release it, like it's Amy Winehouse. I mean I can, but there's going to be too much red tape. So
yeah, of course.
I just did it. So I might just put it up for just a free download, because you know can't basically monetize it, but
yeah, I wouldn't see anything wrong with that. But yeah, let's get into this one then. Just gone 19 past the hour. We're live inside the building with man like Treble Clef on Brekky In The Cave, and of course Trickstar Radio as well. Hit that subscribe button, throw a like on the video as well, and keep it locked. Right then, friends, we're back inside the building. We've got a few minutes left on the show. Out to Man Like Classics joining us this morning, saying vibe on this one. Out to WT4Y saying smooth AF. I'm assuming that was the last tune because that popped up a little while ago. We are live on the line with Treble Clef this morning. It's Brekky in the Cave, depending on where you're listening in from. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, obviously. So, Trebs, we've got a few more things to kind of look through before we finish up. Like, in regards to kind of looking at future releases and stuff, obviously we spoke briefly earlier about letting the album kind of sit before you get into anything else. Obviously, no need to reveal anything, but I'm assuming you've got a couple of other bits like in the works ready to roll.
Yeah, there's things ready to go right now if I wanted to, if I'll be honest. But it's just timing. So just a few more vocals, I would say, to those MCs or the artists that I've worked with in like the past, which they may be looking, thinking, what's going on, Trebs? I saw you drop the thing with Logan, saw it with Rosa, you know what I mean? And it's like, what's going on? Where's my turn? Kind of thing. But everyone's working, so it's good that everyone's got their own kind of timetables to adhere to and do their own releases. Yeah, man, like, speak up like Strally, Lyrical Strally. I mean, Lyrical Strally got something coming. Like, big up everyone that I've been working with and I've worked with in the past. I've got this Yizzy there, Foltz, big up Foltz, big up Logan, big up Mike, of course. Who else is there? Reese West, and like Reese West, big up Slew Them. You know, so it's like there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that I've got complete songs with, and it's just whether deciding what's gonna go on maybe a whole vocal project, or I might do Treble's Diary Volume 2 or Chapter 2 and mix it up with vocals, instrumentals. Don't know, but there are things there to choose from, so that's the good thing. But definitely, man. Definitely Lyrical Strally. If I don't release nothing next from myself, you most probably will see Lyrical Strally single, the next single release with like a grime artist. But
nice, man. Okay, cool. I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to kind of get into, the fact that there is a lot of stuff bubbling away, and to kind of like move towards the end of this. Obviously, we are now it's looking like lockdown is lifting. It's looking like we're returning to some level of normality in different places. Like how long that lasts, we don't know. But like in regards to like making new music and releasing it, have you found that's affected your plans, or have you found it not really to be much of a hindrance?
Yeah, well, I guess it has. It's affected everyone's plans. So, but how adversely it's affected my plan is the real question. And I wouldn't say I've been adversely affected by it in this way. Maybe the opposite, because it's given me more time than I would have given myself to refine on things. If that makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah, it hasn't adversely affected me. If anything, it's made me more meticulous, because usually everyone's on lockdown, so no one's in a rush or like that, because no one's going anywhere like that. So let me make sure this thing is right, like perfectionist. Whereas before, it was just like, you know, we were all under the assumption of things being normal. I would put more pressure on myself to put things out during like a certain time.
Yeah.
And by a certain timetable, like I was in the middle of a PR run before lockdown, so with Rosa, and we only just went to BBC, and then we were planning to go to Kiss and all of these things. So it's we just move on, and we just basically just get on with things, and that's how we survive. That's mostly the purest grime nature there could be.
Yeah,
our resilience.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, man. I think as well, something that I found is a lot of people kind of returning to that DIY attitude, obviously with different platforms and different kind of release structures. That's definitely something that's become very prominent over the past few weeks.
Self-sustainability, man.
Definitely. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to finish up in just a second. We've got a few minutes left of the show. So I'm going to run one more tune from yourself that you sent over. This one goes by the name of Clafro, I believe. So talk to me about this tune. How did it come together?
Clafro is just it's a classic. It's another dub plate.
Oh, hello. I think I lost you.
140, but it's got different elements.
Oh, getting the gremlins.
Funky, all of it, but it's 140, so it kind of tricks your ear. Okay. That's what I like to think.
Well, you cut out slightly. I was going to say, you cut out slightly there. Do you want to repeat what you said?
just another dub plate there, and it's still 140 gram tempo, but with a different flavour in terms of the acoustics or the sonics. And yeah, man, just the vibe, a sunshine thing, really. Like, you know, in the sunshine, when you're jamming in the sunshine in the park, maybe those good old days, you know, when we could all be around each other, you know?
Definitely, man. Definitely, man. Well, I think this is then a perfect way to finish up today's show then. Trebs, it's been really good to have you on again. Thanks for jumping on the line.
Lovely, thanks for having me.
Lovely stuff. Okay, cool. One time before we finish up, what is the best social media tag for people to get hold of you on?
Coyote Guy, that's at KYOTEGUY. On all social media, that's Twitter, Insta, Snapchat, Facebook, Skype, whatever have you. Coyote Guy.
Good stuff. All right then. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on the line, and we shall speak soon.
All right then, thank you. Take care, man.
Nice one, bro. Nice one, bro. Thank you. All right then, cool people. We are going to be finishing up there. Thank you for joining us on the show today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have enjoyed the show. There's plenty more stuff on the way this week. We do have another special show tomorrow, but I'm not going to tell you what it is until the morning. Moving forward as well, we are going to be getting into the outro bit. So here we go. On socials, you can catch me on Instagram as well as, of course, Facebook, also Twitter, and finally, of course, SoundCloud as well. All of those you can catch me at KXVU. And if you are looking into the show via the YouTube channel, make sure you are also checking out the podcast as well. Makes for really good listening if you're out and about and you want some conversation in your ear. Listen on Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud. Just search Breakfast with KXVU, the interviews. And of course, a quick word from our sponsors as well, Sharpen Digital. They've helped me out a lot with this show, and as you can see, they are the alternative to hiring social media managers. They help me out a lot with SEO and well, just growing the show in general. They are the official sponsors of Brekky In The Cave. One more time, hit that subscribe button. We're going to finish up with this one from Treble Clef. Goes by the name of Clafro. Speak soon, and we will see you in the morning. Bless.